Trying to get the lighting right on this. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Matt M. Roy back once again. Back to you with a live stream from my bed. Mainly because I am really tired tonight. Did a lot of work. Got a lot of exercising in. Yeah, I don't know. Let me try something different here. Maybe go like this. Yeah, I think that's a little better. How am I coming through? Am I coming through clear, everybody? This is my ProBook, the one I got from that computer hall over in Hampton. This is the HP ProBook 6570 Bravo. So I haven't actually tried this yet. Let me turn the light up real quick because I think it's a little bit too low a light. Let me try this real quick. Oh, yeah. That is way better. Apparently, this particular camera on here likes a lot of light for some reason. I even took out my Welby pre-moistened lens wipes that I picked up at Aldi the other day. It's actually a really decent deal. It was $2.99, so $3 for 100 of these wipes. I think all the Aldi's had them, and they should still be in stock, so that was a good deal. But make sure, of course, that you get them quickly because Aldi only has these on limited buys. Danny K goes, that's better. Yeah, I think this camera is just a little finicky when it comes to light. I'm going to try to wipe the lens off too because when I got this, somebody had tried to cover the camera lens on here with like a piece of tape, almost like electrical tape. And I think some of that residue might be on there. So you guys aren't going to see me for a minute. See if that's any better. Give it a minute to refocus. Yeah, I think that's a little clearer. Might as well clear the sides of my mouth. So how's everybody doing? Looks like I got some sun. Yeah, I've been out a lot. We went to the Neptune Festival, the entire family, on Sunday, which was in Virginia Beach. So we were walking on the boardwalk, and yeah, we got a lot of sun. So yeah, I probably am a little bit redder than I usually am. You guys don't actually usually see me from this angle. This is my actual setup over here. This is the stereo system I've been using. Actually changed out one component today, and that is right up there. You can see that silver dual cassette. That is a Technics. I don't even know what model it is, to be honest with you, but I picked that up at our thrift store today for $7. And the reason I picked that up, other than the fact that it's mid-'80s, and mid-'80s cassette decks are some of the best quality ones out there. They have the best sound quality, best build quality. The second reason I picked that up is that has DBX noise decoding, which is very rare. Most cassette decks, even from the 80s and 90s, didn't come with DBX. And even though it wasn't a very well-known and very well-utilized format, not like Dolby noise reduction, I do have some cassettes that are coded in DBX, so I want to be able to listen to those. And I got to tell you, that thing is like in mint condition. I don't think whoever owned that, I don't think they ever used it, maybe once or twice. The belts are pristine, the heads are clean. It was absolutely amazing. So definitely look forward to seeing that in a future video. Eric goes, for the most part today, I've done nothing, and it was everything I dreamed it could be. LOL. Is that a Office Space reference? Any of you guys remember Office Space? Bill Lumbergh, Ron Livingston. Great movie. I remember seeing that with my friends back in the late 90s. I think 1999 is when that came out. So we got 6 people here. I'm not surprised. I didn't even promote this because I'm not logged into any of my social media accounts on this computer. So it was like I just go ahead and put it out there and see who comes. Hopefully I'm coming in clear. It looks like I am. Eric goes, it was an unintentional reference. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I'm keeping an eye on the battery power. I'm actually running off the battery right now because I want to drain the battery on this computer and then charge it again. It's really good to do that every once in a while with lithium-ion batteries. It basically allows it to reset itself. Even though technically lithium-ion batteries don't have a memory like the older batteries, it actually still helps in the longevity. And I think this is actually the original battery in this computer, which would date this from around battery to around 2013, 2014. So it really probably needs to be replaced in the future, but I'll let the next owner worry about that. Because yes, I am going to be selling this because I don't need 2 ProBooks. Eric goes, I should probably go ahead and schedule my one for tomorrow. Yeah, that's really a good idea. Whenever you do a live stream, or I should say a planned live stream, you always want to make sure that you schedule them because people forget in these days. And these days with social media as it is, cell phones, tablets everywhere, our focus is very, very minimal. So yeah, that would definitely be a good idea. Max Petrak. How do you feel about the new Dell Latitude 54-5500 laptops? I'm not sure how they are due to have any ideas about them. I've done some preliminary research on those. They're okay when it comes to build quality, but the only issue I have with the modern day laptops, and this just doesn't go for Dell, this goes for all of them, is they're starting to really cheap out on the components. If you look at most modern laptops, especially laptops, the batteries are not user replaceable. They're basically inside the laptop, usually under the motherboard. Another problem that I've had with newer laptops is they're using really thin cabling. So if they start to overheat for any reason, the cables get very brittle. And I've actually seen it to where the SATA cables, the data and the power cables, if they get hot enough, they will just disintegrate in your hands. So like everything else these days, the build quality is just in the tank. Mr. Smash 96, Apple started the trend of making cheap laptops. If they're making cheap laptops, then we're all in trouble because they charge a premium for all of their systems. I need to move up a little bit. There we go. I think you guys can see me a little bit better now. I'm having a hard time reading the chat from that distance. Rick Lakes, how is your weather, Matt? It's 52 here and windy. Well, it's windy here, but it isn't 52. I'm going to tell you, it probably got up to about 85 today. And I actually think that we're supposed to be getting 90-degree weather for the next 2 days, and then it's going to cool off into the 70s. I'm trying to do this so you guys don't get the glare from my Alvin the Chipmunks poster. Should have planned this out a little bit better, but oh well. Max asks, I've always had issues with HP laptops, so I'm reluctant to give them another chance. Well, I can tell you this. They're professional grade systems. They're professional grade laptops like the ProBooks, the Elite books, like the ones I'm using, are incredible. They have really, really solid construction, but they're consumer grade systems, the quality has gone downhill over the last really 5 or 10 years. So if you're going to think about getting an HP laptop, get something secondhand like a ProBook or an EliteBook. You won't be disappointed. I mean, this computer, I gave $15 for this laptop without a hard drive. I slapped in just a 500 gig conventional hard drive. I think it's an HGST Hitachi Deskstar drive. And this thing's really, really fast, even with the conventional hard drive. Eric goes, my thing is, cell phones have been getting better and more amazing front-facing cameras, yet laptop webcams seem to be stuck in 2007. I have to agree with you there. As a matter of fact, I can kind of tell already the webcam in this laptop isn't all that great. I can kind of see that I'm a little bit grainy. So for those of you that are just tuning in, the reason the quality isn't as good as it usually is because I'm using my HP ProBook 6570 right now. But yeah, and again, I think a lot of that just has to do with the fact that a lot of people that buy laptops really don't use the webcams anyway. So I think the manufacturer's just trying to save a little bit of money there. Oh, man. And I'm telling you, my allergies have been driving me crazy lately. It's just been one day after another. Like today, they were better. But now that the nighttime's coming and I'm inside, I'm getting all the allergens that are circulating around the house. I can feel my nose is starting to clog up again. Yeah, I don't know about the high-end gaming laptops. I know that like some of the HPs, like I think the Omens and then the Alienwares, which are really just rebranded Dells now, they tend to put slightly better webcams in those, but they're still not great. I mean, if you guys see my normal live streams that I do from my Dell XPS 8700, I use a Logitech Webcam Pro C920, not the streamer, but the older model, and that runs circles over any webcam in any laptop that I've ever owned. Mr. Jimmy is here. You know, I must say it's easier to read the chat on the laptop because my face is actually closer to the screen. Mr. Smash 96 goes, now if you want a decent webcam and a laptop, now you have to pay up. Well, not really, because honestly, there's a real simple solution, and that is go buy yourself the laptop you want and then just buy an external webcam. I mean, my Logitech C920 will easily fit on top of the laptop. Yeah, it's one other thing you have to carry, but it's a simple solution, and they're not that big. I mean, they can fold. You can fold those webcams up. You can put a rubber band on them and just throw it right in your laptop case. I would rather do that and get the laptop I really want than have to spend an extra $400 or $500 on a gaming laptop that I may not ever use just to get the better webcam. To me, that's the better solution. Didn't think about that. Yeah, you know, it's something that you don't always think about until you spend more money than you actually need to. Pradkin says, I love your stereo system. Yeah, it's kind of a Franken system, to be honest with you. There are a lot of different components there, but they're the kind of components that I like and I think sound the best. Daylight robbery buying a gaming laptop, Mr. Jimmy says. I can imagine. Not that I've ever bought one before. I've had a few come in for repairs, but I can tell you I've never actually bought one myself. I should have brought my water with me. I totally forgot. So Mr. Smash has a Franken stereo system too. I think a lot of us do because we know the components that we want, and they're generally not from the same manufacturer. So if I slide you around a little bit more, I don't know how good of a view you're getting, but that's my Pioneer CTM 66R. That's my 6 cassette changer. So that's a Pioneer. That's an Onkyo A1 receiver. That's a Sony CDP 5-disc changer. That's the new Technics dual cassette player I got. That's my Insignia HD radio tuner on top. And then going over here, another Sony 5-disc changer and recorder. And then right up there is my Kenwood KD76P linear tracking turntable. So literally they are all different when it comes to the makes, but they all serve a specific purpose. And then my speakers, on top I have a pair of KLH bookshelf speakers, and underneath are some Fisher 3-way speakers with 15-inch woofers. And the way I have it set up is each set of speakers are on their own channel. So basically I get my low end from the Fisher speakers and then the high end from the KLHs. And they actually sound really, really good together. I wish I could play it for you, but with YouTube's copyright laws, I definitely get a strike. Reese Hayden is here. Wants to know how everybody's doing. Pradkins 14. I got the Sony Shelf System 2012 model. Interesting. I didn't even know they made them that late. Yeah, it looks like Clerk 3 is finally being remade now that Randall is finally on board. I have never seen any of those movies, honestly. I don't know how much longer I can do this, guys. I am really, really getting tired. And I guess I should be. It's 9:30 here, and I got up this morning around 8. But I'll tell you, I really was able to sleep good last night. I've been really pushing the exercising recently, and I got 12 hours of sleep last night. I did like 3 separate bike rides yesterday. I got in maybe 16,000 steps, so I kind of overdid it. And the nice thing about overdoing the exercising is you tend to sleep really, really good at night. And I'll give you guys a fitness update. At 14,565 steps, and I bike rode about 12 miles today. So not quite as good as yesterday, but I'm gonna get there again. We'll see what happens tomorrow. V Westlife got a strike for 7 seconds of music. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I heard someone up there, I think it was Mr. Smash, commented about how you can get a copyright strike even using YouTube's own music from the YouTube media library. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that people that contribute to that change their mind and then copyright the music that they already donated. You got to be really careful. You ever notice in my vlogs, I use a very select few tunes. I use Hepcats for the intro, and then I use Local Elevator for the outro, and that's about it. That's all I'm comfortable with using. Me too, Pradkins. I cannot stand this hot weather. But this is what they call Indian summer, and hopefully it's going to break soon because this is October 1st. And the next few days it's supposed to be in the 90s, and that's just ridiculous, even here in Virginia. Though I'll have to tell you, in years past, mid to late October, it was not unusual to see temperatures in the 70s and 80s. I remember a few Halloweens when we had temperatures at night in like the high 70s, low 80s, but in the 90-degree temperature range, very, very unusual. Have you, Brad Smith asked, have you ever played the game Star Generations? No, I don't think so. I have not played a lot of modern games. The most modern game I think I ever played was Unreal Tournament. So we're talking like early 2000s. I used to be big into the classics like Doom, Wolfenstein 3D, the early 3D first person shooters. And then, of course, the side scrollers, DOS era side scrollers, Commander Keen, Duke Nukem, Hocus Pocus, just to name a few. Pat, are you going to go trick or treating this year? If I went trick or treating, I would get arrested. I'm in my 30s. I actually haven't trick or treated since I was about 12 years old, honestly. George Stewart is here. Oh man, I am so jealous. Mr. Smash is in the mid 50s. Well, when we go up to my uncle's for Thanksgiving, I'm sure I'll get all the cool weather that I can stomach there. I'm actually surprised the battery's holding up this well. I've already been on this for about 21 minutes and I still have 70% battery life. It says I got about an hour and 28 minutes left. Though it's starting to go down quicker. I would think live streaming pretty much will pretty much taxi the battery and the CPU, pretty much the whole thing. $55, 62. 55 and 62. So let me add that together. What was that? 107. Robert Jones, Matt, what is the headphone adapter called that attaches to a stereo so that a small headphone jack will attach to the stereo? I think it's a 3.5 millimeter to 2.5 millimeter adapter. I had one sitting around, but I don't know where it is right now. But basically, it allows you to hook up a newer style headphone to the older style bigger plug. I don't know what the actual name. There you go, 1/4 inch adapter. Mr. Jimmy asks, $100 delivered to me 3 Dell Vostro 270s, i3 3220s, 4 GB of RAM, no hard drives. Worth getting. I mean, it depends on if you can get systems like that locally. So so that makes it, well, you got 3 of them. So about $35 a piece. Well, $32.50 a piece. Yeah, I'd go for it with 4 GB of RAM. You put some hard drives in there. You could still probably get about 120 to maybe 140 a piece for those if you pair them with a nice monitor. I would, if you're in a position of bargain, I would offer them maybe 80 for the 3 of them. But if all they're willing to take is 100, I'd go for it. Those are pretty good systems. And remember, you can always upgrade the processors. I mean, if it's an i3 3220, easily upgrade that to like an i5 3220 or an i7 even. There you go. 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch adapter. Thank you, Eric. I know you guys can look that up quicker than I can. Oh, Tyler was putting sheetrock up in the house. Well, don't let me keep you unless you needed a break. All right, Eric, thanks for coming. I will try my best to make it to your live stream tomorrow. I couldn't do it today because my one of my clients had emergency. His computer kept cutting off after about 5 minutes, and it's for a business. So, unfortunately, I had to get it fixed as soon as possible. Luckily, I was able to get it back home. do a quick diagnostic and fix the problem. In his case, it wound up being a bad power supply. And the overheating issue was because the thermal paste had degraded and started to break down. So I replaced the power supply, reapplied some new thermal compound or thermal paste, and it was good to go again. I was a little concerned, though, because when I got that computer home, I was running diagnostics, and I saw how hot it was running. I mean, it was getting up to about 90, 95 degrees Celsius. So that's what, maybe in the 175, 180 degree Fahrenheit range. And at those temperatures, if it was running like that for a long period of time, it can cause motherboard failure. But luckily, it didn't get to that point. James King, is 64 gigabytes of RAM overkill? For 99% of the population, it is. I run 16 gigabytes in my Dell XPS 8700, and it does everything that I need it to and more. George Stewart sent an emoji, but I can't make it out. Oops. Crying. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why you're crying. You could cook dinner on that CPU. Yeah, you literally could. A lot of it had to do with the fact that the computer hadn't been cleaned out physically recently, and there was a blanket of dust over all the vents. And that's something that I need to talk about a little bit more on this channel, because people don't realize that if you don't blow out your computers at least every 6 months, then basically what you're doing is you are cooking their components. And I have seen it so many times where computers got destroyed because people didn't blow them out, and there was a blanket of dust sitting on all the interior components and on the vents. There's a reason the manufacturer put those vents on your computer, on the side, on the front. That's so you could have clean, smooth airflow throughout the entire computer. And when that's compromised because you don't clean it out, not much you can do. I mean, I have seen computers get destroyed from heat within a couple of months of not being cleaned sometimes. Depends also on how dirty the environment is. I mean, if your computer is sitting in an automobile shop, you need to clean that out at least once a month. If it's in like a studio, like an art studio where you keep everything clean, then maybe you could wait 6 to 8 months. Robert Jones is asking, how much would you say a Lenovo G560 laptop would go for? Honestly, the best way is to just do a quick Google search. I can do that for you. But I don't know the individual models. Again, there's so many of them out there. Let me take a look. Just a quick Google search shows that those sell used for about $150. So hopefully that helps you out. James King goes, I really hate dust. I wish I could have a dust-free world. Well, I'll tell you something interesting. It's an interesting factoid, but it is true. The only way you could have a dust-free world is if you didn't have people, because the majority of dust is made from the cells that we shed on a daily basis. That's what dust is. It's actually a lot of the skin cells that we shed on a daily basis. So if you want a dust-free world, you would have to have a people-free world. And I don't think any of us really want that. All right, everybody. I am going to have to end the stream here at 30 minutes because the battery on this is going down pretty quick. Thank you guys for coming. Just thought I'd give you guys a quick live stream, and it helped me out because I wanted to test the battery capacity on this. Seems to be pretty good, especially since we're asking quite a lot of this computer. Have a good night's sleep. Please continue to like and subscribe. And as always, Have a blessed day, everybody.